conversation. Go ahead, Adam.
All right, Laura, we mentioned Tua and the Atlanta Falcons. He plans to sign a one-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons. That would mean he would be united with Michael Penix. They'd have two left-handed quarterbacks. Makes a lot of sense here. You could see it happening, and Tua is going to wind up in Atlanta on the same day that he gets released from the Miami Dolphins. He now will move on to Tua. He will go on to Atlanta. That'll be his place where he goes. And Kwity Paye to the Las Vegas Raiders, 3 years, $48 million, 32 guaranteed.
Well, look at that. The Raiders are making a ton of moves. We'll get back to Kwity Paye. Let's continue on with the Tua Tagovailoa conversation. Dan, I'll go back to you. Think about what Kevin Stefanski wants to do there. You got Bijan Robinson on that offense. You got Tommy Rees as the OC. How do you like the fit of Tua plus Michael Penix? Maybe sharing time? Who knows?
It's the right decision by Atlanta. Michael Penix tore his ACL, which I believe is the third of his career, in November. So Atlanta needs a guy that at least can, one, run their whole offseason for the most part. We're talking about a new head coach in Kevin Stefanski and offensive coordinator Tommy Rees. They need somebody to be their starting quarterback in April, in May, in June, and for this whole offseason for this football team. And then you might need a guy that has to start opening day. So you needed someone that was going to be comfortable in that role. The second thing is, you just need somebody to be a point guard. That's what Tua is. It's when he's at his best. This is an offense that is wildly talented in Atlanta. It's a very good offensive line. It would be by far the best offensive line Tua has had to play with in his NFL career. And it's going to be a relatively lateral transition system-wise. It's not exactly the same thing as Mike McDaniel, but it very much so is what Tommy Rees likes to do underneath the center, play action, move the pocket, work the middle of the field. This is the right move by Atlanta.
Yeah, Dan, to your point, the Falcons coaching staff with Kevin Stefanski believe that despite maybe some lack of arm strength with Tua, they can create those yards after catch opportunities. They have weapons. They have Drake London. They have Bijan. They just need to be able to get them the ball. And this, to me, says a lot about Michael Penix because he wants to be back week one. That's not a guarantee. They need somebody who can leave the light on and start 4 games, 6 games, just somebody there. But this tells me they have not given up on Michael Penix. This, too, is clearly not a long-term solution.
Man, cut the light off. Like, honestly, and this is in no way a disrespect to Tua, but if I'm already dealing with Michael Penix, who has knee issues and injury issues, I don't want to have another quarterback in my quarterback room who health, injury, and safety is a concern. I want a quarterback who I believe I can count on, a quarterback who can do some of the things from a physical standpoint that maybe Michael Penix can't do because of some of the injuries. And I know we keep talking about having 2 left-hand quarterbacks. Man, I don't care if they throw the ball with their forehead, right? You need them to be healthy. And we're saying that he could fit into some of the things that Tommy Rees can do. Mike McDaniel built his entire offense to help Tua Tagovailoa be successful. The reason he got the deal for over 50 plus a year in Miami was because everything there was perfect for him. You want to talk about yards after the catch? Nobody did that the way Tyreek and Jalen Waddle did early on in Tua and Mike McDaniel's tenure. I don't love this. I don't believe this is the right decision. I believe not having a quarterback in that room who you can count on from a safety and injury standpoint was not the move.
But this to me is a backup quarterback signing. I mean, that's really what this is how I look at it. They need somebody to hold the fort down.
But you got to feel like with Michael Penix, you're going to get to the backup at some point.
Well, yeah, I mean, third ACL tear, that's the reality for him. Penix on his 5th season-ending injury in 8 seasons between the college ranks and the NFL. Dan, you wanted to comment one more thing on Penix or Tua.
RC, I agree with your points, and I'm not sitting here telling everybody that I think this is you are the starting quarterback, but you needed someone who could be the starting quarterback in Atlanta. And while your points are 100% fair and valid, I think the reality is Atlanta and Ian Pace, their new general manager with Ian Cunningham, looks at it and goes, we don't have a first-round pick. The other options out there, Kirk Cousins, and the cost has moved on, is Geno Smith, who might have other options. Kyler Murray, who might have other options. And so I think when you're Atlanta and you look back and you look at reality, you need someone who can at least operate your offense for a chance throughout the offseason and the starting of the season. At a minimum.
That's really fair. That's really fair.
And guys, remember, the Dolphins are paying the majority of his salary. The Falcons don't pick until the 48th pick in the draft. That's almost midway through the second round. So you look at what they make teams in the league, and they brought in some ex-Giants to join Brian Dable, including At cornerback, Cordell Flott, one of 2 major corner additions today. And you can see some of the other names. Wan'Dale Robinson, a big one there as well. Don't forget about that. All right, Adam Schefter, another name to look out for. Let's start for a new home for Travis Etienne.
Yeah, how about the New Orleans Saints for Travis Etienne? He gets a 4-year, $52 million deal. He will become the newest weapon for Tyler Shuck. They also go and reach an agreement with David Edwards, the Buffalo Bills guard, so they upgrade the offensive line. They upgrade the run game. The Saints get better on the offensive side of the football today. And in the same division, the Carolina Panthers reached agreement with Jalen Phillips on a 4-year, $120 million deal, including $80 million in guaranteed money. There was a lot of interest in Jalen Phillips. I believe that might be the biggest deal in free agency for a non-quarterback that we've seen in quite some time, if ever. And then, of course, there was earlier in the day, the Dallas Cowboys trade for Rashawn Gary, who announced on Friday that he was leaving Green Bay. So he knew something was coming. He said he was hacked.
Hacker.
Whoever hacked that account, I want them to hack my account and break news like that. Rashawn Gary goes to the Dallas Cowboys for a 2027 fourth-round pick, and Dallas reunites him with Kenny Clark. And meanwhile, the Las Vegas Raiders get a huge deal done with Tyler Linderbaum. 3 years, $81 million, an average of $27 million per year. My understanding is that the Raiders head coach Clint Kubiak really wanted Tyler Linderbaum as the quarterback of his offensive line. We expected they'll draft Fernando Mendoza. They now have a quarterback there. They lose Max Crosby along their defensive front, but add the former Ravens Tyler Linderbaum. And here's some of the other notable deals today. Laramie Tunsil cashes in a big extension in Washington. Jalen Watson reunites with Trent McDuffie with the Rams. 2 Chiefs cornerbacks in L.A. Draymond Jones goes to New England. Alante Taylor goes to Tennessee. A lot of players went to Tennessee today, including John Franklin Myers in a 3-year, $63 million deal. Alex Anzalone, the former Lions linebacker, goes to Tampa on a 2-year, $17 million deal. And John Simpson, the Baltimore Ravens, 3 years, $30 million as the money is flying today. There are no discounts on the first day of free agency.
Yeah, people spend it. I mean, over $1 billion already. We'll get you a final total as soon as we can. And if all this is making your brain feel like mush and you're like, man, I need a recap or something, here's the reality. We got you covered on all different platforms. If you're not in front of the TV all afternoon as the news breaks, you can scan that QR code on your screen. That opts you in for all the updates from Adam Schefter, the breaking news alerts. They'll come right to you, and you can stay up to date on the ESPN app, on NFL free agency. The news is going to continue to carry on this week. There's going to be some guys that don't reach these deals until a little bit later on in the week. Let's talk, though, about Tyler Linderbaum. This is a huge one. He's been one of the league's best pass protectors since he entered the league in 2022. The only linemen with a better pass block win rate than Linderbaum over the last 4 years are Joe Thuney and Creed Humphrey, both of whom received extensions the last 2 years. Dan, when you think about what this could mean in this offense, Clint Kubiak does what he does, and they likely take Fernando Mendoza at number 1 overall. Earlier today when this happened, I thought, whew, if I'm Fernando Mendoza, I'm taking a little sigh of relief. I'm like, okay, good. They got me something. They're doing what they can to set Mendoza up for success.
Best thing they could have done for, if Fernando Mendoza is their first pick, their quarterback. I always say this, the best thing you can do for a young quarterback is give him a very good defense. The burden of having to score points is a lot. I think the second best thing you can do is give him a good interior offensive lineman. And a center is the focal point. Fernando Mendoza is really smart. He throws it down the field really well. Obviously a very good year at Indiana. But having the opportunity to go to the NFL and now have a center that can take some of that lift away from him. Where's the run going? What's the defense in? What should we do versus this blitz? And Linderbaum can handle all that. Clint Kubiak's running an offense that is going to be demanding on zone run game, pulling the center, allowing him to move, so the play action element is going to be there. But just having a guy that can do all that while the quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, likely is learning what a defense looks like, I think it's the best thing the Raiders could have done for that young quarterback.
This is about communication and comfort for your new quarterback in Clint Kubiak's offense, which has a ton of motion, has a ton of play action. Those are the things you're going to want a young Fernando Mendoza, if he is their first overall pick, Those are the things you're going to want him to be focused on. And Laura mentioned this earlier. She put on her analyst hat and talked about how excited Ashton Jeanty should be as well. There was no running back contacted behind the line of scrimmage more than Ashton Jeanty was. And if Fernando Mendoza, or the quarterback of the Raiders, is going to have the ability in the play action pass, the run needs to be effective. You can look at this team, even the acquisition of Jalen Naylor, who is great in the slot. Now you have one of those positions that become a comfort position in the center and also in the slot for a young quarterback.
And just like that, breaking news, we go right back to Adam Schefter. This one